Well, good Sunday morning in the United States and good afternoon, early evening in the UK, Europe, wherever you are. And if you're in Pakistan, it's late at night. So it's been a while since I've done this, so welcome back. We're going to be doing on the game schedule 30th April in our Howie Shanks League, and I've been so busy I don't even know what's going on it anymore, except that apparently there's some injuries and everything like that. Just a couple things. I'm going to be splitting time between this and just some other things that I want to keep doing as well. Out of the park baseball and also a really cool all-time franchise greats league for baseball for Windows that has all 30 franchises. So this isn't like the one I did the other night. Um, every once in a while, it's just fun for me to do baseball for Windows. Love the game, so this will be a more of a usual suspects. I did another one the other night that has like a sort of second tier of players that you don't usually see. So I want to alternate between those. Um, do a little bit of MLB the Show here and there. With three of us doing the Howie Shanks League, it's really nice to be able to do that. And plus, with my work schedule, I can't really just put in just the time just for this that I'd like to without, kind of doing the same thing. So, and it's a great league. I love it. I don't want people to think I don't. I'm just a person that really needs to, you know, kind of just keep things switched up or not. So that being said, let's have a little bit of fun here as I get rid of our little league logo for now. All right. So looking at standings, and today's game is a marquee game. This is going to be Jersey, Detroit. So Detroit climbs into first place finally. Hawaii's been dominating this league, but now Detroit takes over with a 10-5 record. Hawaii in second place along with Jersey, each 1.5 back. Hawaii's at 9-6. Jersey's 10-7. Des Moines 9-7, 1.5 back. Mudville, my beloved team, 2 games back, 9-8, along with Manchester. 8-9, Cleveland 3 back. Badlands 5-11, 5.5 back, and Arlington 3 wins, 13 losses, and 7.5 out of first. So today we're going to see Ford versus Lowe, Jersey and Detroit. So let's do this. Get Derek Lowe into where he belongs. Come on, Derek, you can do it. All right. And let's get to the ballpark. Yeah, we have no viewership right now, but totally get it. Welcome to Tiger Stadium for today's game between Jersey and Detroit. Russ Ford will start for Jersey. He's made 3 starts in the season, and he's 2-1 with an earned run average of 4.10. This will be his first start against the Detroit Coyotes. And he'll be opposed by Derek Lowe for the Coyotes, and he's making his first start of the year. Jersey first baseman Norm Cash is riding a 13-game hitting streak. 64 degrees here today in Detroit. Wind speed 8 miles per hour in from right field. And a light rain falling on the Motor City. And let's...
Play ball!
All right. So Derek Lowe making his first start. Looks like he's making his first appearance here. Last season, a 2.58 earned run average, 21 wins, 8 losses, 219 and 2/3 innings pitched. He has struck out 48, or he has walked 48 and struck out 127. A whip of 974. Opponents managing 211 against Derek Lowe. And leading it off here for the Jersey Blue Claws, it's Ichiro Suzuki. Suzuki hitting 247 with 4 runs batted in. We're ready to get started here. Hope you enjoy the baseball if you catch it now or a little bit later on the flip side. These would be games for 30th April on the game calendar. So today is 15 May or 14 May as I play this, but it's 30 April on the game calendar. And we're ready to get started here as Derek Lowe sets to work on Ichiro Suzuki, and the 2-0 pitch. This one grounded to Dave Concepcion at short onto Marky McGuire, and we are underway. Suzuki on the 6-3 ground out. Chase Utley, he's on an 8-game hitting streak right now. And again, the Blue Claws coming into today's game at 10 wins, 7 losses. And the Detroit Coyotes, 10 wins, 5 losses. So Chase Utley, 333, a home run, 17 runs batted in. Derek Lowe delivers the 3-2 fastball. Utley grounded to Dunlap at second on to Mark McGuire. 2 quick outs here. And here's Norm Cash. As we mentioned, a 13-game hitting streak for Norm Cash, acquired from the Tigers. He's good. Says it feels good to be back home. In a little pregame interview with Storm and Norman. Off to a great start in this Howie Shanks Bingo Baseball League. He is hitting 373, 4 home runs, 12 runs batted in. Cash, the lefty, steps in. Derek Lowe sets and fires. 1-1 pitch coming to him. Changeup by Cash is smacked all the way into deep center, and Norm Cash in there with a 2-out double, his 3rd of the season. And here's the great shortstop now, Willie Wells, striding to the plate. Great Negro League player in the Hall of Fame. Willie hitting 294. He has 5 home runs, 10 runs batted in. The righty stands in. Norm Cash out at second. Derek Lowe checks the runner. 2-1 to Wells. Fastball swung on, chopped to second. Dunlap will go. Low throw to McGuire. This throw getting away from Mark McGuire. And coming around to score is Norm Cash. Costly error. Costly error on Fred Dunlap. McGuire unable to get to that ball. Dunlap rushing his throw. And Jersey with a run in. And catcher Ed Bailey waiting to catch some fire here, and it's just not happening right now. Ed Bailey acquired from the Cincinnati Redlegs. He is 138, 1 home run, 3 runs batted in. Willie Wells in scoring position, a run in, thanks to the Fred Dunlap throwing error. Derek Lowe with the 1-1 pitch. There's a fastball lined, and a leaping grab by Mark McGuire at first base to end the innings, but 1 run, 1 hit, 1 costly error. We've played a half inning. It's Jersey 1, and Detroit coming to bat. So it's been a lot of fun doing this, guys. And at this pace, with MV and Steve especially, but also me throwing in and doing some broadcasting, we will soon overtake the real calendar with the game calendar, which is interesting. All right, so Russ Ford, the season thus far for him, a 4.10 average, 2 wins, 1 loss, 26 1/3 innings pitched. He has struck out 22, walked 7, a whip of 1.39, and opponents hitting 238 against Russ Ford as shootless Joe Jackson steps in. Jackson hitting 339, 2 home runs, 7 runs batted in. This is the 16th game for the Coyotes and the 18th for the Jersey Blue Claws. Russ Ford winds and fires now. Curveball to Jackson, and this one, base hit, clean base hit into right field. Ichiro up with it, fires it on into second baseman Chase Utley. So the speedy shootless Joe Jackson aboard, and it brings up Fred Dunlap, who owns that costly throwing error that led to a run in the top of the first inning. Dunlap hitting a 348, 3 home runs, 8 runs batted in. So Dunlap, a very valued addition to this Detroit Coyotes team, has just been performing magnificently. Dunlap was a 412 hitter last year. So Detroit expecting him to remain not only at the keystone sack at second base, but also just a keystone for this team that's been performing just absolutely wonderfully. So Dunlap now at the dish. Jackson at first with a good lead. Russ Ford checks the runner. Fastball, and this one high and inside. They were looking for Jackson to run, but nothing doing. So the pitch out. Ford sets and delivers. And there goes Jackson, the throw down by Bailey, and Joe Jackson is caught stealing. Big play. Ed Bailey coming up and gunning. They were looking for Jackson to run, and a pitch later he did. So Dunlap back in the box now. The 2-0 delivery. Fastball swung on, base hit. This one line to left, and up with it is Lowenstein. So Lowenstein getting the ball in, so the caught stealing could prove a little bit telling for Detroit. However, a run on, and here comes Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds having a good start to the season. 339 average, 3 home runs, and 11 runs batted in. Fred Dunlap at first, not really. We can't really have steals or show what steals Fred Dunlap is, because from the season from which he was imported, stolen bases weren't counted as a stat yet. But Action PC does a great job of extrapolating. Hey, there's VL123. VL, this is my first game in a few days, so hence why you haven't seen a Dombrov tutorial yet, but good to see you. It will get up there. I've been very busy with work. Maybe I'll do something with it tonight or tomorrow, but I definitely will get that done for you. Anyhow, roll up a game, play something, and have fun. Enjoy some baseball. All right, so Bonds now, a swing of the bat can put Detroit up here. Still in the bottom of the first. Yeah, that's usually the way I do those, VL, is when I do a tutorial in a game, I'll usually do try to field questions and sort of, show you your way around and stuff like that. And then if I don't have the answer in that stream, I'll have it by the next one. But yeah, I'll definitely be happy to do that for you. Good question, Jackass Whiskey. As a longtime National Leaguer who is still trying to adjust to this DH stuff in the senior circuit, I don't know. I'm not really sure. That's a good one. Bears Den says it. Edgar Martinez. So there you are. Welcome in, Bears Den and Jackass Whiskey and Pinto Beans. All right. The 1-0 delivery to Barry Bonds, and this one gets past Ed Bailey. Going to second is Fred Dunlap on the wild pitch. So we've had some crazy fireworks in this game, and not a single home run yet. So an error and a wild pitch. Dunlap now in scoring position for Detroit. The 2-0 delivery from Russ Ford, spitball, and Barry Bonds unable to come up with an answer to that one. This one inside corner for strike 3. 2 away from Mark McGuire. McGuire, since I've last at least broadcast some games, seems to be heating up a little bit now. 305 average, 9 home runs, 22 runs batted in. Russ Ford peers over his right shoulder at Dunlap. Has the side now from Ed Bailey. Ed Bailey gunned down. Shoeless Joe Jackson tried to steal here in the inning. Russ Ford deals. Count even on McGuire. Curveball. McGuire chopper to third. Sid Gordon fires it across to Norm Cash, and that will retire the side. No runs. 2 hits, no errors. The wild pitch had no effect. A caught stealing, and after one complete, it's the Jersey Blue Cause 1 and the Detroit Coyotes nothing. Yep. I've got a couple people here hating the DH. Yeah, I know, right? So Steve Tate made the decision, and we agreed to make this a DH league only because of the nature of this type of league. You get to see a couple extra hitters, but I can't stand the DH. Never will, never can. All right, John Lowenstein here leads it off for Jersey, and I don't remember saying Lowenstein's name, and I did do a Jersey game, but there you go, early in the season. But Lowenstein hitting .314, a home run, and 1 run batted in. Derek Lowe sets and fires the 0-1 fastball to Lowenstein, base hit right field. So John Lowenstein aboard, 7 steals last season. And here's Roger Maris. Roger Maris, cold start. Expect Maris to heat up. 39 home runs last season for Roger Maris. He's hitting 152, a home run. Run batted in, so it was a solo shot by him. Lowenstein leads off first. Derek Lowe deals. The 2-0 fastball swung on this one, twisting foul on the right-hand side. Bryce Harper giving chase. This one will get out of play. Right, VL123 saying the things he's done in his gaming, like interleague, DH, etc., they implement in the real Major League Baseball. So that's weird. Absolutely. Oh yeah, we could have Smith, Jones, Johnson. Todd B has had some really cool idea of leagues, like one set up with like a team of switch hitters, another a team of drinkers, whatever. So I mean that would be fun. I'd like to do a team of like brothers, and that would be easy to do. I think to get large at least as much you can, or baseball families. You could have the Bells, the Lous, the Wainers, Musels. So much fun you can do, and that's why I tend to eschew um, season replays. I mean, they're fun to do offline, but on here I like to sort of mix things up a little bit. So good ideas, definitely good ideas. Thank you. All right, the lefty Maris to face Derek Lowe. Lowe has a peek over Lowenstein at first, winds and fires the 2-1 now, and throw down. And Lowenstein is safe. So Bench with a quick snap throw down to first. Oh, this one gets away. Let's look. So Lowenstein was already going for second. Let's look at the replay and see if we can get a better clue here. And doesn't look like, I don't know if that's a stolen base. Let's see. So Lowenstein apparently. All right, let's look at the text replay. All right, man at first. Ball inside, Bench fires to first, and to throw it into right field. Okay, so that's an E2. That's what happened. Lowenstein goes to second. So there we go. Does this prove costly now? The 3-1 pitch to Roger Maris. And fastball missing high and tight. So Lowenstein is second, Maris at first for Dale Murphy. Murphy has 5 dingers, 12 ribbies. He's hitting 267. So some miscues in this game, too, by the Coyotes thus far. We're just in the second inning. This is looking more like a dead ball game. As Derek Lowe deals 0-1 fastball, and Concepcion to Dunlap on the pivot to Mark McGuire for the 6-4-3 double play. John Lowenstein makes it to third. So Jersey looking for a second run with 2 down. And here's Sid Gordon. Sid Gordon hitting 362, 6 home runs, 11 runs batted in. So a bit of surprise here in this league, Sid Gordon. Derek Lowe from the stretch in the 2-1 curveball. Gordon chops this one to Felton Snow at third, who wings it across the diamond to Mark McGuire, and that will retire the side. No runs, 1 hit, 1 error. And after 1.5, it's still Jersey 1, Detroit nothing, as Bryce Harper leads it off, followed by Joe DiMaggio and Johnny Bench. Oh, that's really cool. Jack S. Whiskey and Pinto Beans telling us that people in Fargo, North Dakota, like Roger Maris, I think he played on a farm team there. There used to be a small museum in the West Acre Shopping Mall. Cool. Roger Maris, for too many years, had to have the asterisk there. All right, here's the 0-2 to Bryce Harper. Fastball, this one foul back. Bryce Harper on a 6-game hitting streak here. Light rain, kind of tapering off. Sun trying to peek through here in Detroit. Russ Ford delivers. Fastball misses. Harper draws the walk. So the tying run aboard for the Detroit Coyotes, and here's Joe DiMaggio. DiMaggio has yet to homer in the season. but he's hitting 296 with 10 ribbies. Harper at first with 6 steals last year. Russ Ford with a check of the runner. The 1-2 pitch to Joe DiMaggio. Fastball. This one a little chopper down the first base line. Cash will shuttle over to Russ Ford covering to retire DiMaggio. Bryce Harper moves to second on the play. One down for Johnny Bench. He's gone yard 4 times, batted in 12, hitting just 203. Our Red Sox fans saying happy Sunday and a big old smile. And Ken Castro stopping by here at Tiger Stadium. Good morning, gents. VL123 says, I'm going to get into his Out of the Park League now. 2000 Mets versus the 1921 Chicago American Giants. Catch you later. Have fun, have fun, have fun, have fun. That should be a fun one. All right, so Johnny Bench with a throwing error in this game, uncharacteristic for Bench, but it's baseball. The 0-2 from Russ Ford. Bench swings in this fastball. This one high, this one deep, this one off the wall. In to score the tying run is Bryce Harper. Johnny Bench ties it up with his 4th double of the year, an RBI double, and it's now 1-1. So it's been a strange one so far. Felton Snow, the Negro League third baseman, hitting 255, 2 home runs and 5 runs batted in. Bench at second with 1 away. Tie score here. These 2 teams clawing it out, fighting it out. Detroit right now in first place, overtaking Hawaii. Russ Ford deals the 2-0. Snow swings, base hit up the middle, and Bench rounding third. They're going to flash the stop sign and hold him there. Runners at the corners for Detroit, just 1 out for Dave Concepcion. Concepcion at 164, just 2 runs batted in. Felton Snow already with a steal in the season, with just 7 last year though, so you're not looking at cool Papa Bell out there. As Russ Ford deals, the 1-2 delivered to Concepcion fastball. This one a chopper to short. Willie Wells will go to first for the safe out. And another run scores as Johnny Bench comes across the plate. And it's 2-1 now, the Detroit Coyotes. Back at the top of the order now, and here's Joe Jackson, who singled and was caught stealing back in the first. Snow into his lead at second. Ford checks the runner. The 1-2 pitch to Shoeless Joe. Fastball. This should be routine out to center and Dale Murphy. No, it isn't. This one gets over Murphy's head. Murphy misjudges the ball. Felton Snow scores, and it is now 3-1. So Detroit taking advantage of every mistake that it possibly can. And it is 3-1. Fred Dunlap, as we talked about, such a valuable part of this Detroit Coyotes team. Single between third and short back in the first. Shoeless Joe an aggressive leadoff second. 2 down. Russ Ford spins and throws back. Chase Utley running in, and the tag, and Jackson is safe. Jackson saying, you caught me once, you're not going to catch me again. They're throwing back again. Russ Ford doing everything he can with 2 down to keep Shoeless Joe honest. Jackson once again, pretty good lead at second as Ed Bailey sets the target for Russ Ford. The 1-2 fastball. This one base hit left field. John Lowenstein up with the Jackson rounding third, and he will score 4 in for the Detroit Coyotes, and it's 4-1. Are Joe Jackson's stats before he was banned good enough for Hall of Fame? Great enough for the Hall of Fame. He has the 3rd highest batting average in baseball history. So yes, Jackson definitely would have been a first ballot Hall of Famer. I mean, the only thing that might have happened that would have kept him off the first ballot, I think, Jackass Whiskey, is, let's say his career would have taken a downturn due to injuries. I mean, look what happened, Sandy Koufax, right? Finally, it was just whatever it was, the arthritis or something that took him out, but yes. It's Ty Cobb, Rogers Hornsby, and Shoeless Joe Jackson in that order for lifetime batting average. And I mean, yeah, Jackson was a five-tool player and a great one. It's a shame. I hope he will make the Hall of Fame someday. But they could put in an asterisk. But yeah, the whole thing about the 1919 series. But yes, he was definitely a Hall of Famer. Would have been and should be. All right, here's Barry Bonds. He is 0 for 1, struck out back in the first. Again, that's my opinion. Others in the chat may feel differently, but definitely Shoeless Joe. Was still one of the all-time greats. Ford deals the 1-2 delivery to Bonds. Bonds swings, high fly ball to center field. Dale Murphy has to play this one off the bounce, and here we go. It's another double and another run scored. So Detroit now swinging the lumber. Barry Bonds with his 5th double. Fred Dunlap will score, and it's now 5-1 Detroit. Oh, absolutely, Shoeless Joe. I don't know that they necessarily. So just very, very quickly. So sports writer Huey Fullerton had asked Christy Mathewson to keep score because people were saying, I guess all kinds of different accounts. It's not just from one that people knew something was up. They just didn't know to what extent or whatever. I mean, when you have somebody like Arnold Rothstein, involved, what have you. But at the end of each game and at the end of the series, Fullerton and Mathewson were circling plays that were suspect. And so while Shoeless Joe Jackson was magnificent in this series itself, I believe he had 374 with 2 home runs. Both Fullerton and Mathewson felt that there were a few plays that Shoeless Joe could have made that he didn't. So, Jackson, of course, was illiterate. Did he know what he was signing? Did he understand what he was doing? A lot of controversy, and I know there's a lot of. In fact, I have a friend of mine. She is trying to do a film, trying to raise money for a film about Shoeless Joe Jackson and trying to make a case for Shoeless Joe. One of great baseball's tragic stories, unlike Hal Chase, who flaunted his flagrant gambling behavior. Not trying to make a complete martyr out of Shoeless Joe, but tough call, and I think he should be in the Hall of Fame. Then once he's in, Pete Rose should definitely be in there as well as a player. But again, maybe a little disclaimer. Baseball, I think it would do baseball well to say, yeah, look, these are the mistakes we have. Let's not whitewash over it. But what they did as athletes, But again, enough of that editorializing. Barry Bonds with 2 outs, 5 in here in the bottom of the second. Russ Ford with the 1-2 to Mark McGwire. Changeup, and McGwire strikes out to end the inning, but 5 runs, 5 hits, no errors. And we've just played 2. It's the Detroit Coyotes 5 and the Jersey Blue Claws 1. So Jersey needs to get to work back at the top of the order, and Ichiro is up. Grounded short back in the first. Derek Lowe has not struck out a batter, has walked 1. Lowe deals 3-1. Fastball to Suzuki, base hit up the middle. So that will be the 3rd hit for Jersey. Ken Castro says, like we talked about before, cousin, lots of complexities to the Black Sox saga, much more than the average fan realizes. Absolutely. And don't just go by the whole 8 men out thing. You get into the deep research and crazy stuff. Our Red Sox fan says Pete should be in as a player. Yep, exactly, Al. Totally 100% agree. I mean, Pete Rose is a jerk, but there's a lot of jerks in the Hall of Fame. That shouldn't keep him out. But definitely. And I think on his plaque, it should say, was banned from baseball, whatever. But I think he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. He's the all-time hits leader. Pete Rose was an exciting player. He was a great player. He was very much, I think, He was a 1970s, 80s, what, modern day Ty Cobb, if you will. No argument here, Al. All right, Chase Utley on an 8-game hitting streak. Chase grounded to second back in the first. Ichiro, a lot of speed there at first, and the Blue Claws are going to have to get aggressive here if they hope to catch up to Detroit. Derek Lowe throws over. Ichiro dives back under the wire tag, and he is safe. Very close call there at first. Ichiro a little bit more of a conservative lead now as Lowe brings it home. The 3-1 fastball. Utley swings on his fly ball to center field. Joe DiMaggio juggling it out there, and this one gets away from Joe. E8, and this is the third error now by Detroit. So Joe DiMaggio making an error in center field. So 2 aboard, Ichiro at second, Chase Utley at first, and Storm and Norman Cash, who's 1 for 1. Double to left center, but a lot of doubles in this game. The lefty stands in the box. Derek Lowe rubbing up the ball, now winds and fires. The 1-2 fastball, Cash, base hit, right field. Harper up with it. Rounding third is Ichiro Suzuki, but Jersey flashing the stop sign. So, not wanting to risk perhaps running on that excellent arm of Bryce Harper, and here's Willie Wells batting with the bases sold out. Wells with a grounder to second. He was safe on a throwing error. Norm Cash scored at that time, making it Jersey 1-0. Derek Lowe under some pressure here. Delivers the 2-0. Curveball. Chopped to third, Felton Snow to Fred Dunlap, but Cash breaking up the possible double play. Suzuki in to score, and Jersey inching closer. It's now 5-2 here in the top of the third. Runners at the corners, Chase Utley at third, Willie Wells at first, Ed Bailey. Ed Bailey gunning down Shoeless Joe Jackson earlier in the game, but lined right out to Mark McGuire, his last time up in the first. Low from the stretch now. Bailey cuts to the first. There goes Willie Wells, and Willie Wells slides, and he is in there. So we talked about some speed on this team. Well, Willie Wells is one of them. Willie Wells with 30 steals last season, 4 thus far in this Howie Shanks league. So 2 in scoring position for Jersey as Ed Bailey steps back in the box, and the 0-1. Fastball missing. This one up just above the letters, and bases once again juiced, and here's John Lowenstein. Lowenstein, I'm terrible with German names. Singled back in the second. Fred Lowe, count even on Lowenstein. Curveball, this one high, this one deep, and back at the track, Bryce Harper making the catch. Tagging at third and coming in to score is Chase Utley, and we now have a 5-3 ball game. Yeah, absolutely, Jackass Whiskey. Yeah. Banned from baseball for gambling next to his plaque. Absolutely, Al. Ken Castro says Cobb and Smokey Joe Wood also bet on games in 1919 and played accordingly. And there were rumors also that Landis knew about it, about Cobb and Smokey Joe. Tris Speaker also. There were kind of little mumblings and rumblings about Tris Speaker as well, but I think Landis, pretty smart knowing that to ban players like Speaker, Cobb, Smokey Joe Wood. I mean, it was so. I think Landis not trying to lionize him, but I think he made the right decision for baseball. Still tried to recover, rocked from that scandal. And of course, Babe Ruth doing so much to erase people's the bad taste in their mouth. People were turning to other sports for the national pastime. So For Landis to drop the hammer on Cobb, that would have been, my God, that would have reverberated to this very day. All right, Maris walked back in the second. Willie Wells at second. Ed Bailey at first. Lowe with a 3-1. And the curveball misses, so here we go. Derek Lowe has issued his third free pass in the game. 11 hits by this game between these two teams. 3 errors by Detroit. This has been a sloppy game. So Dale Murphy does have a grand salami on the season. He grounded to a double play back in the second. Derek Lowe pitching with the bases juiced. The 0-2, this one chopped to Ed Bailey. Bailey goes to McGuire, close play, and they do just get Dale Murphy, so this could have been a lot worse, but 2 runs, 2 hits, 1 error, and we've played 2.5 here in Detroit, and it's the Coyotes 5, the Blue Claws 3. Oh, it definitely would have killed baseball, suspending Cobb. Definitely. Speaker, same thing. But yeah, I will always maintain that Shoeless Joe and Pete Rose need to be in the Hall of Fame. They really do. And if they want to, they can kind of inch out Bill Mazeroski and Phil Rizzuto and a couple other. If they want to just do it that way, that'd be fine. They're far more deserving players despite their, despite their predilections for the dollar earned ignominiously. How's that? All right, Bryce Harper, 6-game hitting streak. Bryce walks back in the second. Leading it off here, followed by Joe DiMaggio and Johnny Bench. Russ Ford. This first pitch, Bryce Harper, hard ground ball to Norm Cash. There's plenty of time to trot to the first sack, and record out number 1. Joe, nothing for 1. DiMaggio with a rare error in center field in this game. Russ Ford fires it in the 0-1 curveball. DiMaggio pops this one high in the infield. Willie Wells calling for it at short, out on the outfield grass, makes the catch. 2 up, 2 down. Johnny Bench is 1 for 1 and with an error. RBI double scoring Bryce Harper, tying it up for Detroit, and that started that precipitous second inning for the Detroit Coyotes. Bailey sets the target. Ford with a 2-2 delivery. Fastball. Bench swinging. Comebacker to the mound. Nice play by Russ Ford to retire Johnny Bench. So we've played 3 here, and it's 5-3. Ken saying that's my point in the Hall of Fame. Others are in with the same. Rosen Jackson are accused of not consistent. Cap Anson is responsible for the segregation of baseball for some 46 years. He's kicked out of the Hall of Fame. I'll believe again. Well, you know and I know that Cap Anson is not going to be. He's not. I think he should. But then you have to start. If you kick Cap Anson out, who again probably considered the greatest player of the 19th century, but then what do you do about some other players? Do we know what did King Kelly, for instance, what did he feel about African American, players of color? And the list goes on and on. I don't know. I don't even know how that's done, because if you start that, and maybe these guys have to go, and this is just 19th century. Remember all the all the Dodgers absolutely having a cow in early 1947 when they found out that Jackie was coming to the club, and even to this day. So. All right, Derek Lowe now dealing to Sid Gordon. Curveball. Sid Gordon sends this high to left, but high and not deep. Barry Bonds making the catch. 1 up, 1 down. Oh, my God. Yes, it is. the damage that he did to the game is lasting. I couldn't agree with you more. There's Steve Tate. Yeah, he said tuned in to get to see his team. Yeah, right. It's been a weird one, Steve. It's been a weird one so far, that's for sure. It's good to see you, man. Been a little while. All right, Ichiro singled back in the third. 5-3 Detroit lead here in the fourth. One away. Derek Lowe deals. And Suzuki swings in the first pitch. This fastball to Fred Dunlap, getting it off quickly to Mark McGuire for out number 2. Chase Utley trying to extend this 8-game hitting streak. Gave it a ride to deep center and was safe on an error. Derek Lowe's pitch. The curveball down the right field line. Bryce Harper giving chase in foul territory, and he will make the catch. So the side goes quietly, and we go to the bottom of the fourth. Detroit maintaining its 5-3 lead over Jersey. Detroit looking to stay in first place, finally overtaking the Hawaii Volcanoes, who have been really, I wouldn't say dominating the league, but they've held on to first. Tough team. And Detroit finally summiting K2 there. Felton Snow 1 for 1. Detroit third baseman grounded a single up the middle. Russ Ford with 2 strikeouts and a walk. Winds and deals 0-2. The changeup, Felton Snow all over this. And Felton Snow with a clean base hit to right. A runner aboard. That is base hit number 8 for the Coyotes. And it brings up Gabe Concepcion. It's 0 for 1. He grounded to short back in the second, scoring Johnny Bench. Felton Snow leads off first, Ford with a check of the runner. And a little bunt by Concepcion, and it's a good one. And it's an error. We have an error here on Ed Bailey. Let's check out what happened there. Oh, it's an error on Russ Ford, so it's butted back to the mound. By the time Russ Ford is able to recover, Dave Concepcion is safe. So charge that E1, and now each team with errors. 1 for the Jersey Blue Claws and 3 for the Detroit Coyotes. This is looking like a dead ball game. Shoeless Joe, a perfect 2 for 2 today. A single and an RBI double back in the second. Scored Felton Snow, who happens to be in scoring position at second, being trailed by Dave Concepcion at first. Russ Ford sets the 0-2. Shoeless Joe cuts right through this fastball. So Russ Ford picking up strikeout number 3, 1 down. As everybody's saying hi to everybody, and it's all good. Ford deals now to Fred Dunlap. The 1-2 fastball, chopper to short. And Wells will go to Utley, who will fire on to Norm Cash for the inning-ending double play. And after 4 here in the Motor City, as the sun begins to peek through after an early rain, it's 5-3. So Derek Lowe, already at 76 pitches, not good for many more, and it's a good thing that the Detroit manager's in here to see what he might want to do if Derek Lowe can't buckle down here. Lowe not pitching a bad game, 3 runs, 4 hits. So we'll see what he does here. I'm sure manager Steve Tate of the Detroit Coyotes will be watching his hurler closely as he faces Norm Cash. Derek Lowe delivers the 0-1 fastball. Cash swings, base hit up the middle. DiMaggio up with it and fires it into Dave Concepcion. So here we go. The tying run comes to the plate of Willie Wells, who's 0 for 2. As Steve Tate says that Derek Lowe is on a short leash. So Willie Wells safe on a throwing error in the first, and Norm Cash scored. And then grounded to third, and in the second, or in the third, I'm sorry, scoring Ichiro Suzuki. Storm and Norman, 11 steals last year. You don't think of Norm Cash as one of these sluggers that can also steal some bases. You wave the pink hand of despair if needed. Thank you. Thank you, Steve. All right, Lowe sets and fires the 3-1 to Willie Wells. Fastball, and this one missing just a bit outside. Thank you, Bob Euchre. So Cash at second, Wells at first, and here's Ed Bailey. As Steve Tate, a longtime Tigers fan, his whole life says that Dave Cash had cork in his spikes as well as his bat. Nice. Ed Bailey, nothing for one. Jersey looking for Bailey to start to heat up here, hitting well below what's advertised in the 10 for him. He's lined to first and walks. Derek Lowe, bench out to talk to Lowe for a moment. Now back behind the box, and the wind in the 0-1 fastball. Bailey, chopper to second. Dunlap will go to McGuire, and quickly. So one down, two in scoring position. And here's John Lowenstein. He is 1 for 1. He sacrificed a fly out back in the third, scoring Chase Utley. So Derek Lowe having to work from the stretch. Lowenstein swinging on this fastball. First pitch. Concepcion will go to McGuire, but a run will score. And it's now 5-4 as Norm Cash comes in. So the Blue Claws, pardon the obvious pun, clawing back. Willie Wells at third, and here's Roger Maris. Maris in the game has walked twice, so he's seeing Derek Lowe very well. The lefty stands in, Derek Lowe winds, and the 1-2 pitch. Curveball, and curveball in there for a called strike 3, but another Jersey run scores. 1 hit, no errors. We go to the bottom of the 5th, and it's Detroit 5, Jersey 4. At one time, Detroit holding a 5-1 lead in this game. But Jersey methodically climbing back. The Coyotes clustering their 5 runs, all in the second inning. Lots of doubles in that one. Speaking of which, Barry Bonds has an RBI double in this back in the second, scoring Fred Dunlap, and that was the 5th Detroit run. And the 0-2 pitch, fastball. And going down swinging is Barry Bonds. So that's strikeout number 4 for Russ Ford. Steve Tate said, I wish Clue was here to possibly jinx his team. Mark McGuire, nothing for 2. Came into the contest hitting an even 300 as Russ Ford, payoff pitch, fastball in there. McGuire, a big cut and a miss. I'm not sure of the orientation of Tiger Stadium, but it looked like he was trying to swing southward toward Windsor, Canada. So I'm not quite sure of its orientation, but we'll pretend. All right, Bryce Harper batting with 2 down. He is 0 for 1, including a walk. 6-game hitting streak for Harper. A few hitting streaks up and down this Detroit lineup. Russ Ford, the 1-2 fastball. This one is gone. Didn't even have time to call it. This one an absolute missile by Bryce Harper to right field, going 336 feet, his 4th of the year. And Detroit adding a little bit of cushion from the Blue Claws push-in. And it's now 6-4. Smoked is right. I love those that you don't even have time to call. It's just bam. All right, here's Joe DiMaggio. Again, DiMaggio having a good start to the season. He's 0 for 2 today. 10 runs batted in, but DiMaggio has yet to hit a home run. Last season, DiMaggio went downtown 30 times. Johnny Bench waits on deck with 2 away and a run in here for Detroit. Russ Ford with the 0-2 pitch, fastball. DiMaggio, swing and a miss. And we've played 5 complete. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors. We go to the 6th. And it's the Coyotes 4, the Coyotes 6, and the Blue Claws 4, as Dale Murphy steps to the plate. He is nothing for 2. Derek Lowe in the game has a strikeout and 4 walks. Lowe fires it into Murphy. The 1-2 changeup. Oh, good pitch. Swung on and missed, and Derek Lowe has reached his fatigue level and past it. Lowe is tired. We will wait for manager Tate. I'll go ahead and bring up the screen for Steve to peruse. Assuming here that he wants to take Derek Lowe out. There's D. Scott Howard. D. Scott Howard writing in the Discord that his team getting decimated by injuries as Steve puts up the pink hand of despair. Earl Moore, it shall be. So Earl Moore will come into pitch now for the Detroit Coyotes. The line on him, pretty much making his first appearance. But last season, a 1.74 earned run average for Earl Moore. Late of the Cleveland Naps. 19 wins, 9 losses, 1 save, 247 and 2/3 innings pitched, 62 walks, 148 strikeouts, a whip of 1.042, and opponents last season hitting .210 against Earl Moore. So Detroit, after making that acquisition from Cleveland, hoping for some good things from Earl Moore. And the Goats saying good morning along with D. Scott Howard, our resident ghost whisperer and all-around cool dude. Earl Morris finished his warm-up pitches now. We're ready to get back underway here as Sid Gordon steps in the 1-0. Gordon, chopper to Dave Concepcion, who fires it on to Mark McGuire for out number 2. And the lineup turns around now. We're back at the top of the order for Ichiro Suzuki. Suzuki with a single back in the 3rd, so he is 1 for 2. D. Scott Howard. Yeah, take care, Al. Thanks for coming in, buddy. Always good to see you. Hope to catch one of your broadcasts soon. My work schedule is insane. As we said at the top of the broadcast, I want to split time between this and a couple other projects that I want to do baseball-wise. So glad MV's been broadcasting like a demon. So great stuff. Oh yeah, it's going to be fun. I've just got to do them in cluster, Steve. But yeah, in fact, our game calendar will we're going to overtake the real calendar here in a couple weeks easily at this pace. Earl Moore now deals to Ichiro the 0-2 curveball. Suzuki swings this one, a two-hopper to second, and Fred Dunlap. Bad throw, but it's pulling McGuire off the bag. McGuire able to keep Suzuki, though, at first. And yes, that's an E4. And Detroit with its 4th error of the game. So Cousin Ken Castro, a little bit of kind of memories of Ned McGreevy. That's going to be the other thing I forgot to mention. In July, while this is going on, and once we have the KCCL done, those players are going to be released into draft pool, and there will be a McGreevy League also. So that way, this channel can still kind of keep its identity as a place where too much talk goes on and more of a focus on earlier baseball. So Ken and I pretty revved up for that. Shanks will still continue. I need like sort of my own project, and I don't have that right now. So Ken and I really wanting to do McGreevy Part 2, and I think it's going to be more fun this time around. Thanks very much to Steve Tate's, not only what he did to help us in the Ned McGreevy League, but also his incredible work on this one, and not to forget Big Clue either. And to all the managers, and MV, the other broadcaster here, who is just getting superb at what he's doing. All right, Chase Utley batting with 2 down. Ichiro Suzuki on at first. Earl Moore throws over, and Suzuki dives in under the tag of Mark McGuire. And, Earl Moore let this one get away from him. This one nails Chase Utley in a hit. It's a hit batsman. things going very, very curiously here for Detroit, maintaining a 2-run lead right now, 6-4. But errors. Now we have a hit batsman. We've had a wild pitch. Crazy, crazy game. Yep, McGreevy coming back in July. Steve Tate saying, hey, Aaron. And Steve Tate informing D. Scott Howard. He said that he's working on his basketball all-time file based on the best 3 years now. D. Scott will be very excited about that. Huge basketball fan. I know Todd B. will be looking for that as well. And quite a few others who are into the game invented by Dr. James Naismith, I believe in 1894 it was. It's about the extent of my basketball knowledge, that. And, I know a few of the players, so that'd be fun. I'll sit in and watch that. I'm not going to take part, but you know, basketball is kind of fun, so we'll watch when Steve sets that up. So look for that, basketball fans. Norm Cash, 3 for 3, batting with 2 on and 2 down. Cash with a double, a single, or a double and 2 singles. Cash looking for an RBI in this game. Earl Moore fires it in, a 3-1 to Cash. Curveball misses. And this one wide. And now Jersey has him loaded again. And it brings in Willie Wells. Wells, nothing for 2 in the contest. As Steve Tate says, Wells is toast here. Earl Moore from the stretch, and the 1-2 to Willie Wells. Curveball, Wells lines this one, and right to Felton Snow at third, so Steve Tate calls it. The Blue Claws leave him loaded. No runs, no hits, 1 error, and we head to the bottom of inning number 6, and it's the Detroit Coyotes 6, and the Jersey Blue Claws 4. I need to upscale my ballpark images, and I think rather than doing it through Photoshop or whatever, I think I'm going to take Steve's advice and use do the free quote-unquote way of doing it through Gigapixel. After seeing Steve's beautiful ballparks, it's like, these are too low res. All right, Johnny Bench, 1 for 2, leads it off here, followed by Felton Snow and Dave Concepcion for the Coyotes. Bench with an RBI double in the second, and a comebacker to Russ Ford in the third. The 2-0 delivery, fastball, this one high to left. John Lowenstein has it measured, camps under it, lights a marshmallow, and brings it down for out number 1. Felton Snow, he is perfect 2 for 2 today with 2 singles. Ford's delivery, fastball chopped up the middle. Chase Utley making a nice play, raging hard to his right, and a hard peg down to Norm Cash. That one an off-balance throw by Chase Utley. Great, great play by Chase, even though the game didn't give him great play. It certainly was a great play. That one definitely would have gone into the gap and right had Utley not ranged. So 2 away now. Dave Concepcion. Concepcion in there for his defense more than anything. Concepcion, however, hitting .271 last year, off to a slow start here at 161. But again, early goings for Detroit. This is game number 16. For the Blue Claws, game 18. Russ Ford delivers the 0-2, and Concepcion with a called strike 3. No runs, no hits, no errors. 6 in the books here at Tiger Stadium as the sun is coming out now completely. Winds, though, picking up a bit at 18 miles per hour. A front coming through here in Detroit. It's 6-4. Detroit over Jersey. Ed Bailey, John Lowenstein, and Roger Maris due up for the Blue Claws. Hope you guys are having a little fun here on a Sunday morning, which is now turned into an early Sunday afternoon. Don't know if Steve will be doing some games today or MV. I certainly hope so. Earl Moore fires it in now to Ed Bailey. Bailey swings in the first pitch, high fly ball to center, but Joe DiMaggio going back on it, dives and makes the catch in center field. So DiMaggio with the error out there earlier in the game now redeems himself. Great catch by Joe. Yes, it is Mother's Day. And Steve says he may do some games today. Yes, it is, Aaron. It is definitely Mom's Day. I got to call my mom later and say, "Hi, Mom, how are you? And happy Mother's Day to you. Hope you're doing fine and you're not to be bringing the shillelagh at me, will you? For not calling sooner. But you know, Mum, I got to be doing baseball for the lads to do. So, Mum being Irish would love to hear that. All right, now back to Mark in English and John Lowenstein, who's 1 for 2. Earl Moore deals the 2-2 pitch. Lowenstein, this one on the inside corner at the knees, and Lowenstein goes down looking. So 2 up, 2 down. Earl Moore settling down now. Derek Lowe pitched an okay ball game, but is in a pregame interview with Detroit manager Steve Tate, he said that we're going to be watching Lowe, keeping him in a short lease pretty much all season. So, and with a rotation that this Detroit squad has, we could take let's take a quick look at some of the pitchers. When you've got Bob Gibson, Dwight Gooden, Mike Scott, you've got Brett Saberhagen. I mean, you've got all up and down the line. So, yeah, you're definitely going to keep Lowe in a short leash, and I can understand why. When September call-ups happen, it'll be fun to see. There's an amazing, there's a baseball great right there in the inactive list. Rube Foster, it'll be fun to see Rube in some games. But both of these teams just very, very powerful. Just looking quickly here while the groundskeepers are taking care of. Somebody brought a beach ball here. You got Lou Whitaker on the inactive list right now. Pete Browning, Albert Pujols, Ben Zobrist, but I mean you got Albert Pujols right now inactive. So there's some serious players. And by the way, Sweet Lou, why isn't he in the Hall of Fame? All right, back to game action as the beach ball makes its way out of the park. They'll probably send this down to 8 Mile or something. Earl Moore deals the 1-0. Maris swings this changeup high and deep and at the track. Bryce Harper makes the catch. Middle of the 7th. The score remains the Coyotes 6, the Blue Claws 4. Ba, 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 ba. I love that little, you got to get those little 4 notes back there at the end. All right, back to it now. Bottom of the 7th, Jackass Whiskey and Pinto Beans. Not only telling me that he makes shillelaghs out of black walnuts and cherry wood. Hopefully you bury them, you make them properly. I'm sure you do. You know a lot about Ireland. Steve laughing at beach balls and stuff. I had to come up with some excuse to talk about the team. Yeah, absolutely. Jackson, Shoeless Joe and Fred Dunlap, that 1-2 tandem has been excellent. Fred Dunlap, what a golden pick made by Steve Tate, manager Steve Tate of the Coyotes. Speaking of the two, we're at the top of the order, so Jackson, Dunlap, and Barry Bonds. Shoeless Joe has one of those RBI doubles back in the second. Again, that big 5-run second for Detroit, scoring Felton Snow. Russ Ford, a 3-1 delivery fastball. Shoeless Joe lays off. Good eye up there at the plate. This one up and away. So Shoeless Joe Jackson aboard. 2 big things, by the way, happening in gaming in a couple weeks. 2 big releases, actually. Diablo 4 being, probably the biggest. But also, Super Mega Baseball 4. I've been looking into that game. I have the other 3, or I didn't buy 2. I bought the first one and the third one. Super Mega Baseball 4. Gotta buy it. It's got a simulation mode. A team. It has an 8-team or a 10-team league. A 10-team league with players, real players from all eras, coming to Super Mega Baseball. Endorsement by the Major League Players Alumni Association. So nice little endorsement there from Metalhead Software. So look for that. I think that comes out within the same week or so as Diablo 4. Super Mega Baseball 4. Don't let the cartoony graphics fool you. That game is as deep as MLB The Show. Good stuff. All right, Jackson aboard, and here's Fred Dunlap. He is 2 for 3. Ford throws over. Jackson back safely. Fred Dunlap with an RBI back in the second. RBI single, scoring shoeless Joe. So we talk about that tandem. He did ground into a double play in the fourth. Jackson, an aggressive lead off of first. Ford checks the runner. The 0-1 to Dunlap. Dunlap gets the bunt down. Oh, great play by Ford to go to second to Willie Wells. They're going to get Jackson. So sacrifice unsuccessful. Fred Dunlap on the fielder's choice, failed sacrifice. So call it an FC or FS, whatever you want to do, but it's 1 down. Yes, great possibilities for player creation in addition to the 200 or so legends. So glad. Path of Exile 2. Coming out. Yep. So lots of good stuff. It's going to be a great year, great second half for gaming. Age of Wonders 4, just very, very quickly. I know this should be for the other channel I'm starting, but if you guys like 4X types games, Explore, Expand, Exterminate, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Age of Wonders 4 could quite possibly be the greatest 4X game ever created. The customization in that is insane. It's beautiful. If you love big strategy games like that, set in a high medieval fantasy universe, it's incredible. It's incredible. So enough of that. Back to baseball. Dunlap aboard, 1 down. Barry Bonds, RBI double in the second. Lefty waits for the Russ Ford delivery. Russ Ford winds the 1-0 delivery to him. Fastball. This one lined up the middle. Chase Utley making a great play. Throws back to Cash, and they double off Fred Dunlap to end the inning. What a play. Let's look at that one again. So Utley making good heads-up fielding there. Dunlap was dead to rights. We go to the 8th. What a crazy game this one has been. Detroit holding on to a 6-4 lead. And they will face the number 8, 9, and 1 hitters here. Dale Murphy, Sid Gordon, and Ichiro Suzuki. Dale Murphy, one of my favorite modern baseball players, was 0 for 3. Struck out back in the 6th. Earl Moore deals up. Reb Russell comes in. We will tell you about Reb Russell. That was quick. But wait, what do we have here? Reb Russell into pitch. So Steve, the AI, not waiting for you at all. So Earl Moore's day is done, and here's Reb Russell as Murphy draws the walk. Reb Russell on the season, a 2.19 earned run average, 3 wins, no losses, 1 save, 12 1/3 worked. 4 walks, 3 strikeouts. Whip of 1.054 and an average of 196 against him this season. So he's kind of on par with last season thus far. So the lefty facing Sid Gordon now, who is nothing for 3. He's grounded to third, fly to left, grounded to short. Steve Tate saying, as one of the commissioners of this league, he says, I think we should force all players to take performance-enhancing drugs just to level the playing field, remove any suspicion. Why not? We could do that in our league, and I guess do it in baseball too. And I guess you better start building bigger ballparks if that happens, because more home runs is going to lengthen Major League games. All right, Dale Murphy aboard at first. Dale Murphy with 30 home run or 30 steals and 4 thus far this season. So definitely not a slow coach at first. Southpaw Russell with a check of the runner. Deals to Sid Gordon. Fastball. Fastball chopped up the middle. And Dunlap to Concepcion to McGuire. Big double play. Turned by Detroit so quickly. 2 down, bases empty as we go back to the top of the order. And Ichiro Suzuki, the right fielder, just a single in this game back in the third. He was safe in a throwing error back in the sixth. 4 Detroit errors in this game. Russell deals to Suzuki, the 0-1. Suzuki swings, 2 hopper to Fred Dunlap at short, and the peg on to Mark McGuire to end the inning. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Detroit 6, Jersey 4. So manager Steve Tate talking about that strength up the middle in his middle infield. Both of you have fantastic teams. Wells and Utley up the middle, pretty good. At the corners, yeah, you're a little bit below average at third, but Sid Gordon bringing that bat with him. And as far as your outfield goes, I mean, or as far as Big Clue's outfield, I should say, I'm talking about Big Clue. You know, Murphy out there in center, excellent. Suzuki and right. 2 very well balanced teams. Home run wise, probably a little bit more power in Jersey, but only 1 home run in this game, and that's been by Detroit. Bryce Harper rocket back in the 5th. Russ Ford deals to Mark McGuire, who is nothing for 3. Fastball in there. Strike 3 called. 1 up, 1 down. Bryce Harper again with that solo homer back in the 5th. Up there now. Russ Ford with the 2-2. Fastball to Bryce Harper, and Bryce Harper a swing and a miss. That's the 9th strikeout for Russ Ford. So Russ Ford, just if you take that 5-run second inning, Russ Ford has pitched quite a game. Touched up for since the second inning, touched up just on that Bryce Harper home run in the 5th, and that is it. Joltin' Joe, nothing for 3. This Detroit crowd wanting Joltin' Joe to jolt one now. Russ Ford with the 1-1. Change up. DiMaggio comeback to the mound. Ford off the bump to his left. And that retires the side. We go to the 9th. Here we go. Jersey. Aaron in for Harper and right field. You got it. So we'll see Hammer and Hank. Bryce Harper will take a seat. Steve Tate, after all my analysis, says both teams great, but mine is better than Clue's. Just saying. Aaron Reed did a baseball for Windows triple header yesterday. Ken Castro says to Jackass Whiskey, Bonds took up cycling about 10 years ago. He now sponsors a racing team in California and rides with them regularly. Checked out his performance numbers. He rides well for an older rider. Didn't know Bonds was doing that. That's cool. Now, Bonds and those guys, unlike Shoeless Joe and Pete Rose, they will get into the Hall of Fame at some point. They will get there. Chase Utley, nothing for 3. Can he keep this hitting streak alive? Utley will be followed by Norm Cash and Willie Wells. So just 1 defensive substitution in this game. Hank Aaron comes into play right here. And again, crazy team that Detroit has the man number 2 all-time home runs, lifetime, is sitting on the bench. Bryce Harper getting the start. Reb Russell now, the lefty deals, the 1-1. Chase Utley, base hit right field, and the tying run comes to the plate, and Norm Cash. Billy Wagner coming in on relief. So they go to the bullpen, and Billy Wagner will come in. Looking at lefty Billy Wagner's numbers, Um, wow. So an ERA of 27. No, I did not misspeak. 27. No wins, one loss. Um, a whip of 3,000. 3.000. An opponent sitting 400 against him. Billy Wagner, however, in the year before, a 1.57 earned run average. He went 4-1, struck out 124. So Detroit manager Steve Tate looking for Billy Wagner to get on track. Norm Cash just seeing Detroit pitching wonderfully today. He is 3 for 3 and a walk. Billy Wagner checks Chase Utley at first. Utley, 2 steals thus far in the season. The 0-1. And this one gets by Johnny Bench. They're going to score that one, a wild pitch. This one rolling all the way to the backstop. Johnny Bench getting to the ball quickly. Coxon fires, but Utley already at second. So Chase Utley in scoring position, a little bit of a pickle developing here, you might say. Billy Wagner with the 1-1 now to Cash. The curveball, this one deep, this one is gone, and this game is tied on the Norm Cash 2-run shot. This was his 5th of the season, his 4th hit today. That one 379 feet, and manager Steve Tate has to have mixed emotions about this. Norm Cash acquired from the Detroit Tigers to the Jersey Blue Claws. Ties it up now against Billy Wagner. So here's Willie Wells now. Aaron Reed saying, whip up some gravy because that baby's mashed. Steve says he's better at drafting and not managing, apparently. Well, I mean, you're 10-5, so in first place, not bad. Oh, all right. Willie Wells, nothing for 3. Wind to third back in the 6th. That's when Steve called it. He was toast. Let's see if he's going to be toast this time. Billy Wagner sets and delivers to Willie Wells. The 0-2. Wells, oh, this one hard hit to left. Wells around third. Bonds giving chase down to the left field corner. Willie Wells is going to have 2, and they're going to stop him there. So a home run and a double now. And here's Ed Bailey. We'll see what the Blue Claws manager decides to do with Ed Bailey, who's nothing for 3. And again, an absolutely frigid start to the season. 132 average. He has managed 1 dinger. John DFW coming in. Welcome in, John. John saying good game. By the way, speaking of good games, guys, John just finished his 1965 World Series replay, and it was an exciting one. And if he had a channel, I would just say go watch it. But since he doesn't, the Minnesota Twins won. How about it? I wanted the Twins to win that one, and they did in fine fashion. It's an amazing game 6, says John. John, that would have been fun to watch. So win Twins, huh? All right. Zach Britton. What happened to Wagner? That's the AI. Remember, the AI will do this stuff. So Wagner's out, which is probably good, Steve, since he gave up a home run and a double. I think maybe the AI is trying to teach you a little bit of managing here. I have no idea, but we have Zach Britton coming in now on relief, and a much more realistic ERA of 2.45 with a save. He's worked 3 2/3, walked 2, and struck out 3. And Steve is laughing. All right. All right, Willie Wells into his lead off second. Zach Britton, count even on Ed Bailey. Fastball, and Ed Bailey just not getting it done today. A swing and a miss on the fastball. So 1 away for John Lowenstein. John Lowenstein contributing both in the 3rd and 5th, scoring Utley and Cash, respectively. tie game here. And Dick Bartell comes into pinch hit, chopping ground ball to third. Felton Snow coming in, making a nice play on this ball. Bear hands it on to Mark McGuire. Willie Wells moves to third. 2 down for Roger Maris. Coyotes get a shot in the bottom of the second to try to walk it off, unless Maris gets Willie Wells in. Just 90 feet away at third. Zach Britton from the stretch, and the 1-2 curveball, and Willie was coming home on that one. Fouled behind the plate. Johnny Bench, what a play, reaches back and makes the catch. But 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors. We go to the bottom of the ninth, and the Blue Claws have come back from a 5-1 deficit way early in the game to a 6-4, and now tying it up 6-6. Johnny Bench making a big play there, because you got to think, I mean, Willie Wells out there, one more shot, and could be a different ball game, but here we go. And I have to remember to get all these logos assigned. I didn't do that on my side locally. Mea culpa, mea culpa. There we go. All right, it is Johnny Bench, Felton Snow, Dave Concepcion. Take care, D. Scott. Supposed to hit up in the 90s out there. Wow, we're in the 70s here in PA. So hotter in the state of Washington and the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. All right, let's go around and look at a couple of these pictures here. Again, these cards done by Steve Tate. These are brilliant. Great, great stuff. Now we just get Steve Tate to do the other 19-odd thousand retired players. Steve will be getting to work on that, I'm sure, and have them all done by the afternoon. So stay tuned, right? All right, Johnny Bench is 1 for 3. Russ Ford deals the 0-2 to Johnny Bench. Curveball, base hit, left field, and the go-ahead run is aboard for Detroit. And here's Felton Snow. You can add it to MV's list. Robbie Wartburg making a rare appearance here at Tiger Stadium. So Johnny Bench, believe it or not, has a stolen base this season. Felton Snow, nothing for 3. Not seeing any. We'll let MV maybe create the players for Super Mega Baseball 4. Who knows? Yes, he did indeed play. Joe Delahanty. So Felton Snow with a 1-game winning RBI on the season. Russ Ford. Ed Bailey has a little chat there with Ford back behind the dish. The 1-1 to Felton Snow. Here it comes. Snow swings, base hit, right field. Bench rounding third. They flash the stop sign. Detroit in business now. Dave Concepcion. Now normally I don't stop play for these things because that gets you into trouble. But yeah, but Steve Tate bringing up the glove, because I'm thinking you're not going to back Concepcion with 2 on and nobody out, bottom of the ninth. So I'm going to bring this up. Yep, Hack Wilson. There you go, Steve. Great minds think alike. Oops, no. Hack Wilson. There we go. So Hack Wilson comes in to pitch. Bench at second. Snow at first. Nobody out. 6-6 in the bottom of the ninth. Hack Wilson's numbers in the season, he is 0 for 2. Last season, 56 home runs, 191 runs batted in. You baseball scholars definitely should know what season that was, which Hack Wilson was acquired from the Chicago Cubs. Russ Ford asking for a new ball. The man in blue tosses one out. Ed Bailey trots out to the mound quickly. All right, has a little word with Russ Ford back behind the dish. We're ready to go. 2-2 pitch to Hack Wilson. Oh, cut and a miss, and that is the 10th strikeout by Russ Ford today. Big strikeout. Back at the top of the order now, Shoeless Joe Jackson batting with 2 on. Russ Ford looking double play here. Ed Bailey sets the target. Russ Ford winds and fires. Jackson swinging the first fastball, long fly ball to left. Delahanty making the catch at the foul line on the left-hand side. And 2 outs. And Ford is out of gas, but we've got to let the AI do it. Not going to make those substitutions because he's not getting shelled here. So, can Fred Dunlap get it done here for Detroit in the bottom of the ninth? We're going to go to pitch mode for this one. Ford tired out there. Here comes the first pitch. Fastball. This one popped behind the plate. Ed Bailey. Will he have enough room here at Tiger Stadium? This one gets out of play. The count 0-1 on Fred Dunlap. Back in the box is Russ Ford rubbing up a new ball. Fan getting a nice souvenir here in Detroit. Ford into his motion in the 0-1 fastball. Base hit. This one all the way to the corner, the gap and right. And this game is over. The Detroit Coyotes defeat the Jersey Blue Claws 7-6. What a crazy ball game this was. Wow. All right, so here we go. Detroit improves to 11-5. Jersey falls to 10-8. For the Detroit Coyotes, 7 runs, 12 hits, 4 errors. For the Blue Claws, 6 runs, 8 hits, 1 error. Russ Ford tagged with the loss. He'll go to 2-2. Zach Britton with the win. He goes to 1-0. Let me see here. We've had 2 home runs in this game. So one by Norm Cash for Jersey and one by Bryce Harper. We had no triples, sadly, in this game. Total doubles. Lots of doubles for, well, 4 for Detroit, and I think quite a few of those leading to RBI, actually. Yeah, let me see. I think every double has led to an RBI for Detroit. For Jersey, just 2 doubles, Cash and Wells. Let's look at pitching now. Oh, highlights, though. For Jersey in a losing cause, Storm and Norman Cash goes 4 for 4 with a home run and 2 runs batted in. And then all kinds of goodness going on over here for the Detroit Coyotes. Johnny Bench goes 2 for 4 with a double. Fred Dunlap 3 for 5, 2 batted in. Bryce Harper 1 for 3 and a home run. So pitching errors, I think, a big story in this game. And let's see if they in fact impacted the game a little bit, but not decidedly so, I guess. So Russ Ford, despite striking out 10 and only walking 2, touched up for 7 runs in this game. So Derek Lowe went 5 1/3 for Detroit. 4 runs, 2 earned, walked 4, struck out 2. Earl Moore came in, worked an inning and 2/3 with a walk and a strikeout. Reb Russell walked 1 in an inning of relief. Billy Wagner gets the blown save, and his ERA goes up to 36. Zach Britton gets the win. Worked 1 inning in relief and struck out 1. Miscellaneous. Who is going to be player of the game? Only 1 steal in this game, Willie Wells. As far as left on base, this is what really hurt Big Clue's team. Left him loaded a couple times. Jersey stranded 10, Detroit only 3. And the MVP is Fred Dunlap. Deservedly so. There we go. All right, now we're going to do a little bit of simming here. So Detroit now with a 1.5 game First place lead over second place Hawaii, North Sound and Des Moines, and Jersey each at 2 games back. But let's finish out this day so we get rid of the half games. All right, so Manchester and Cleveland. Donaldson versus McJames. Here we go. Manchester at 9 wins, 8 losses, and Cleveland at 8 wins, 9 losses. And oh my goodness, Cleveland absolutely pounds Manchester 15-1. Let's check out that box score, baseball fans. And they scored 7 runs in the seventh. So Manchester managing 1 run in the fourth. That is it. Home runs, Robin Yount and Willie Mays in the game. So see, John Donaldson goes to 1-2. McJames goes to 2-0. Jackie Robinson is all highlights, obviously, on the Cleveland side. Um, Jackie 3 for 5 with 3 runs batted in. Ken Boyer 4 for 5, 2 ribbies. Willie Mays 3 for 5 with a home run, 2 runs batted in. 15 runs for Cleveland on 20 hits. Um, Doc McJames gets the MVP. Wow. Insane stuff, man. Just insane. Let's see. And Cleveland. So Cleveland with 15 runs does it on 2 home runs. Just crazy. So, wow, 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 wow. Okay. So now Manchester and Cleveland each at 500. Um, Mudville at 9-8 goes against Des Moines 9-7. Dick Ellsworth, Steve Carlton. Here we go. And Mudville edges Des Moines 5-4. This one was a 13-inning affair. We'll have a look at this one. It's my team, so good game. Good game. So Mudville, 5 runs, 12 hits, no errors. Des Moines, 4 runs, 10 hits, no errors. Um, so let's see. For my team, Ty Cobb goes 2 for 5 with 2 runs batted in. Heavy Johnson, yeah. Or no. Davy Johnson. Sorry, I don't have Heavy Johnson. Wish I did. Davy Johnson goes 2 for 5. Muddy Rule went 3 for 4. So Muddy Rule um, wearing the tools of ignorance today for the Mudville Nine. So Mudville improves to 10-8. Des Moines falls to 9-8, but Edgar Renteria went 3 for 5 with a stolen base. Bullet Joe Rogan 2 for 5 with a triple, and Bobby Grich 2 for 5 with a home run and 2 runs batted in. Okay, so we'll go ahead and let's just check who is the MVP of that game. I like to see how my guys are doing. Pop Lloyd is doing great stuff in my league, in my team in this league, and I'm so happy. MVP of this game, Ty Cobb and Yadier Molina with the game-winning RBI, which I think is a stat no one really cares about anymore. So Arlington bringing up the rear um, is sending out Walter Johnson against Johnny Antonelli. Arlington at 3-13, taking on the still potential juggernaut Hawaii at 9-6. Walter Johnson off to an absolutely abysmal start at 0-2. Johnny Antonelli is 1-1. Here we go. And Arlington squeaks by and picks up its 4th win. Walter Johnson picking up his first win, and it's 6-5. So let's quickly look at the box score. Good to see the big train coming up with a win. Hawaii, so Juan Soto, which I've got to get a picture for him. 3 for 5 with a home run, 2 runs batted in. Gentile went 4 for 4 with a home run. For the Arlington Sharks, the Raja goes 2 for 3 with a home run, 2 runs batted in. Hammer and Hank Greenberg, 1 for 3 with a homer, walked twice. And Salvador Perez went 2 for 4 with a homer. So, Robbie, there you go. You got your 4th win. Stolen bases. all by Arlington. So Jimmy Williams stealing two, Benny Koff with the steal, and Hannes Wagner picking up his third. Koff, Wagner, and Davis were also caught stealing in this game. And let's look at your MVP, Rogers Hornsby. Good pick. All right. And finally, North Sound and Badlands. So North Sound that's I believe D Scott's team, I think. Anyhow, North Sound is 9-7, Badlands 5-11. This is going to be right against Ryu and Otto. North Sound goes to 10-7 now, defeating Badlands 4-1. So Badlands dropping to 5-12. And that ends April. In the Howie Shanks League. And let's look at standings and other stuffies. Christopher Slovic says he just finished his Creators Cup broadcast for the night. 7 games to go, then a break, then playoffs in August. Looking forward to it, Christopher, and good to see you. Yeah, right, Steve. Walter Johnson's just been absolutely abysmal. Just not getting it. So Robbie says 4 wins getting there, but we need to do better. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, so there's been a lot of injuries in this. Almost a civil war here. God, Christopher, just be safe, man. Please be safe. All right, so we've got some good games coming up in May, and the game schedule. The standings as of 30 April. In first place, the Detroit Coyotes at 11 wins, 5 losses. North Sound just 1.5 back at 10-7. Hawaii, along with Jersey and Mudville, so we got a little bit of a bunch up here for third place. These teams 2 games back. Hawaii at 10-7. Jersey and Mudville each at 10-8. Des Moines just 2.5 back, 9-8. Cleveland, Manchester each at 9-9 and 3 back. And then Badlands 5-12, 6.5 back, and Arlington 7.5 out. So we've got some bunching going on. Cleveland and Manchester still in the race. Badlands and Arlington, again, we've just finished the first month of the season. So, and I didn't even realize that coming in that we're at the end of the season, or the end of the month. I wasn't trying to do this on purpose. But Arlington and Badlands need to turn around here pretty quickly. I'm usually loath to talk about stats this early in a game or in a season, but we'll just take a quick snapshot here. So right now, Juan Soto leading in batting average at 438. Norm Cash, Ernie Banks up there. Fred Dunlap, Pop Lloyd. Way to go, Pop. Let me see. Mark McGuire with 9 home runs. Arlington, one of Arlington's bright spots has been Salvador Perez with 7 dingers. McGuire leading an RBI with 22. Let me see. Tommy Tucker with 10 steals. We dead ballers are always interested in that. Manchester with a running team. Joe Morgan with 7. And my man, Wee Willie Keeler has 6. All right, Wee Willie. Dave Orr for Arlington. There you go, Robbie, with 5 triples. Earned run average, Brett Saberhagen right now at 1.54. Wow, let me see here. Right with 4 wins. Is that, which rate is that? I'll have to look later. There we go. It's Johnny Wright. So Johnny Wright with the most wins at 4. McQuillan, Brown, Cooper, and Granke each with 3. Marbury with leading the league in saves with 3. Whitey Ford, or no, Russ Ford. I'm sorry, Russ Ford with 32. I don't think Whitey Ford's on anybody's team anyhow. Russ Ford, 32 strikeouts. Lady Baldwin, and with 30 strikeouts, pretty nice. And opponents unable to solve Brett Saberhagen, 145 average, or opponents hitting against him. Right now, League All Stars look like this. Pitching would be Three Finger Brown, Salvador Perez to catch. First base, Mark McGuire. Second base, Rogers Hornsby. At the hot corner, Sid Gordon. Shortstop, Robin Yount. Left field, Albert Bell. Center field, Willie Mays. So Cleveland well represented with 4 players. And right, Giancarlo Stanton. And DHing would be Juan Soto from Hawaii. And manager of the year thus far is Steve Tate. And we know that, well, there you go. All right, guys. This was fun. Fun, fun, fun. And I will get this BBX posted up for the next broadcaster. As Steve Tate says, manager of the year, computer AI. Right? Yeah, Cleveland has 4 All-Stars, and they're playing 500 ball. But these guys are playing some good ball. Let's see. Let's look at Albert Bell, though. Because the few games I've done for Cleveland, what's Bell doing? So, he's 6 home runs, hitting 3. Yeah, he deserves to be in there, definitely. So, interesting that he's a fly plus spray hitter as opposed to whatever. Anyhow, good stuff. I might be on again this afternoon, Robbie. Who knows? I don't have to be at work until Tuesday at 2:30 in the afternoon. But I remembered I had a really cool baseball for Windows 30 team all-time franchise great. This is not the one that I did the other night. This is something else that I have, and this is all 30 franchises. So I want to do something with that. I do want to do another Howie Shanks day, and yeah, I'm just casting about. But I will be back. Your Rangers play today, Robbie? Okay, so Steve's going to do some league games in an hour or so. So tune in at Steve Tate's channel for that as the Howie Shanks Bingo Baseball League heads into May. So thank you to Robbie Wartberg, to Steve Tate, Christopher Slovic, Aaron Reed, Jackass Whiskey and Pinto Beans. Cousin Ken Castro, John DFW, D. Scott Howard hanging out with the Goats, Al Red Sox fan, VL123 who's patiently waiting for a Dombrov tutorial, Bears Den 007. And we got everybody, I think. All right, guys. And Aaron saying his 1990 replay is going well. All right. Okay, I will definitely. Actually, you know what? I'll keep the stream going here for a second, Steve, and I'll get that up to you. Now, I need to ask you a question, Steve. So, we figured out the problem. I only need to export just for April 30th. I don't have to export, like, boom, everything, because I know there was some weirdness. I just want to make sure I'm just doing April 30, right? Because that's what I've been doing. Just make sure that we're fine there as I bring up the Discord. Okay, just April 30. Let me do that right now so that you know it's there. And can't see the chat right now. So, yeah, I do see. Okay, so Steve, I did not see. Oh, that's because you just posted it. So, a new Cleveland Manager file. So, I guess I need to download this. All right. And man file, save. So, let me import that for Cleveland first. This game was going on, so. All right, let's do this first. It's just good that while Steve's here, I get this. I just do this all right. Yep. Bingo, Cleveland, and boom. All right. So Cleveland's manager is in. All right. And then export games. And I just want April 30. Boom. Boom. So that's 5 games. And let's call it export. What was that? Export 30 April. And in the Shanks Bingo 5/12/2023 now. Okay, done. Almost there, Steve. La, da, 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 da. Boy, it feels good to be back doing this, man. I miss it. Miss it, miss it, miss it. Okay, baseball seasons. Whew, gotta clean this up, man. Oh my god. This is insane. Insane. There we go. I don't know why it makes all these FLM files. I have no idea. Okay, open. Okay, Mr. Tate. April 30th is up there on Discord. Yeah, well, if you don't mind, I usually do it the other way, so it's 30 April, if that's okay. I don't usually do it that way. Right. Okay. So you're saying that will allow Kevin Mitchell to be active to cover for Al Simmons' injuries. We'll be out until 11 June. Wow. Okay. All right. Steve has it. All right, guys. That's enough for me. You've heard enough of my voice, and you will hear the sonorous, yea, even dulcet tones of Mr. Steve Tate a little later today on Mother's Day 2023. All right, guys. I'll probably be back, maybe doing something else. Maybe we can get MV. It'd be kind of fun to sort of tandem these off for a little while today, or kind of relay them off, and we could make some crazy headway into Shanks. Maybe at least getting into Fifth May. We'll see. Got some good games coming. All right, guys. Take care, and thank you all very, very much. And Christopher Slovic, special note to you. Please be careful, man. Really worried about you. All right. All right, guys. See you around the batting cage.